Good morning, students. Next, there is a lemma based on weak convergence. In a normed space X, we have a sequence Xn converges weakly to X if and only if these two conditions holds. The first condition is the sequence formed by the norms of Xn, that is bounded sequence, and second, for every element f of a total subset M of the dual space of X, we have image of Xn under F converges to image of X under F. Now, first of all, let us take the sequence Xn converges to X weakly, and we prove that these two conditions holds. Now, because the sequence Xn converges to X weakly, and therefore by last lemma which we discussed yesterday, the sequence formed by the norms of Xn, that is bounded sequence. So this part you will have to prove from there. Now in the second part, we use the definition of weak convergence of the sequence, because the sequence Xn converges to X weakly. So by definition of weak convergence, for every f belonging to the dual space of X, image of Xn under F converges to image of X under F. Now because this condition is true for every f belonging to the dual space of X, so in particular we can say that f of Xn converges to f of X for every f belonging to M which is contained in the dual space of X. So this completes the second part also. Now we will do the converse part. Conversely, we are given that these two conditions holds, and we prove that the sequence Xn converges to X weakly. Now we have, because the sequence of norms of Xn, that is bounded sequence, so by definition of boundedness we can take Xn norm less than or equal to C for all n, and also because Xn norm is less than or equal to C, so we can say that the limit of Xn norm, that is also less than or equal to C, and limit can be taken inside the norm, so that will become norm of limit Xn is less than or equal to C. So we get X norm is less than or equal to C. Now because the set M is total in dual space of X, so by definition of total set, its span closure, that is equal to X dash. Here X dash is the dual space of X. Now let us take F belonging to the dual space of X. So by definition of closure, there exists a sequence. Let us take that sequence is Fj, and that is a sequence in the span of M, and this sequence converges to the function f. Now we can use the definition of convergence of the sequence. So by definition of convergence of the sequence for epsilon greater than 0, we can find a j such that the norm of fj minus f is very small. So we have taken that is less than epsilon upon 3c. Now because fj belongs to span M, and we are given the second condition that every element f of M, for every element f of M, we have f of Xn converges to f of X. So this condition will also hold for Fj, because Fj belongs to span M. So using the condition second for Fj, we can say that Fj of Xn converges to Fj of X. So by definition we have, there exists a positive integer n such that for all n greater than existing integer, the absolute difference of Fjxn with Fjx that is less than epsilon by 3. Now let us consider n greater than n, and let us find the absolute difference of f of xn with f of x. Now adding and subtracting fjxn and fjx inside this mod, and now we can use triangle inequality. So by using triangle inequality, this expression will be less than or equal to mod of f of xn minus fjxn plus mod of fjxn minus fjx plus mod of fjx minus f of x. Now because f is bounded linear functional, therefore by definition of boundedness of the functional f, this expression will be less than norm of f minus fj into norm of xn, and this is already less than epsilon by 3 from the previous equations. And here again using the boundedness of f, this will be less than norm of fj minus f into x norm. Now because xn, the sequence formed by the norms of xn, that is bounded sequence, so xn norm is less than or equal to c for every n, and therefore the limit will also be less than or equal to c. This limit can be taken inside the norm, so this will become norm of limit xn is less than or equal to c. So from here we get norm of x is less than or equal to c. So using here, this is less than or equal to c, this is also less than or equal to c. So this will become f of xn minus f of x mod is less than epsilon c by 3c plus epsilon by 3 plus epsilon c by 3c. So this total becomes epsilon. So we have proved the absolute difference of f of xn with f of x, that is less than epsilon, and this proves that the sequence xn converges weakly to x. So this completes the lemma. Now our next topic is the convergence of the sequence of operators. So first definition is convergence of sequence of operators. Let us take two norm spaces x and y, then bxy, this is the space of all the bounded linear operators from the norm space x into the norm space y. Let us take a sequence Tn of the operators in this space. Then we say that the sequence Tn, that is uniformly operator convergent if the sequence Tn converges in the norm defined on this space. It means the norm of Tn minus t approaches to 0 as n approaches to infinity. The second definition, we say that the sequence Tn is strongly operator convergent if the sequence Tnx that converges strongly in y for every element x belonging to the norm space x. So by definition of strong convergence, we can say that norm of Tnx minus Tx approaches to 0 for all x belonging to the norm space x. Next definition, weakly operator convergent. We say that the sequence Tn is weakly operator convergent if the sequence Tnx converges weakly in y for every element x belonging to the norm space x. So by definition of weak convergence, we can say that mod of f of Tnx minus f of Tx, this approaches to 0 for all x and y where x belongs to the norm space x and f belongs to the dual space of y. So these three types of convergence we have defined: uniformly operator convergent, strongly operator convergent, and weakly operator convergent. And in these three types of convergence, the first always implies second and second always implies third. But the converse is not in general true. Let us see some examples to show that the converse is not in general true. So let us take the first example of the space L2 space. in this space, let us consider a sequence Tn, where Tn is from the space L2 into L2. Let us define Tn by Tnx is equal to, let us take firstly x belonging to L2, having the coordinates exile1, exile2 and so on. This is an element of L2. Let us define its image under Tn. So we have taken n coordinates 0, and after that we have exile n plus 1, exile n plus 2 and so on. So after operating x by Tn, its first n coordinates are 0. Now this operator Tn, that is linear and bounded operator, and also Tnx converges to 0. But this operator Tn forms a sequence which is not uniformly operator convergent, because if we take x belonging to L2 and let us find the norm of Tn minus 0. Now by definition of norm in the space of bounded linear operators, norm of Tn, that is given by the supremum of norm of Tnx divided by x norm, where this supremum is taken over all the non-zero elements of L2, and this norm, that is 1, which is not approaching to 0 as and approaching to infinity. So we can say that the sequence Tn, that is not strongly uniformly operator convergent. Now another example is again the space L2, and we define another sequence Tn of the operators from the space L2 into L2. Let us take an element x having the coordinates exile1, exile2, exile3 and so on. This is an element of L2 space. Let us define the image of x under Tn by taking n coordinates 0, and then n plus 1th coordinate is exile1, n plus 2th coordinate is exile2 and so on. Now this operator is also a linear and bounded operator. We show that the sequence formed by these operators Tn, that is weakly operator convergent to 0 but not strongly. Now for this we use Riesz representation theorem, because every bounded linear functional f on L2 space can be represented by using Riesz representation. Now so we can represent f of x is equal to inner product of x with z. Here z also belongs to L2 space. So by definition of inner product, this can be written as summation j varies from 1 to infinity exile j into zeta j bar. Here this zeta j, this denotes the coordinates of z, and z is an element of L2. Now let us take j is equal to n plus k, and using the definition of Tn. So from here, by using this definition, f of Tnx, that will be given by inner product of Tnx with z. By definition of inner product, this will become summation j varies from n plus 1 to infinity exile j minus n zeta j bar. Now let us take z minus n is equal to k. So this can further be written as summation k varies from 1 to infinity exile k zeta n plus k bar. Now let us consider f of Tnx mod square. Substituting the value from here, this is given by inner product of Tnx with z mod square, and the value of this expression is summation k varies from 1 to infinity exile k zeta k plus n bar. Now by using Squar's inequality, this will be further less than or equal to summation k varies from 1 to infinity exile k mod square into summation m varies from n plus 1 to infinity exile m mod square. Now because this exile k sequence that belongs to L2 space, and also this sequence exile m zeta m that also belongs to L2 space, and omitting some terms, it doesn't affect the convergence of the sequence. So this sum, that will be finite sum, and therefore we can say that f of t n x converges to 0 as n approaches to infinity. So we can say that image of t n x under f converges to f of 0x. So by definition, we can say that the sequence that is weakly operator convergent to 0. Now, next we show that the sequence is not strongly convergent. In order to show that this is not strongly convergent, we show that the sequence is not a Cauchy sequence. So let us take an element x having the first coordinate 1 and all the other coordinates 0. Now for n not equal to m, let us find tmx. So by definition of Tn, n coordinate will be 0, n plus 1th coordinate is 1, and then all the other coordinates 0. In the same way we can define Tnx. The first n coordinates will be 0, n plus 1th coordinate will be 1, and all the other coordinates will be 0. So if we find the norm of tmx minus tnx, that will be given by square root of 1 square plus 1 square, which is under root 2, and we can say that this is not less than epsilon. So we have proved norm of tmx minus tnx that is not less than epsilon. It means the sequence Tn that is not a Cauchy sequence, and therefore we can say that the sequence is not strongly operator convergent.